BTS Jimin injured after falling while chasing bullying suspects who threatened Jungkook. What really happened? The Korean entertainment world was suddenly rocked by an unexpected and shocking news. A legendary BTS member, Jimin, was reported to have suffered a serious injury after falling while chasing the bullying suspects who had threatened his bandmate, Jungkook. However, this incident is not just about an accident. There is a deeper layer of mystery surrounding the entire event. What really happened behind this incident? What made Jimin so fired up by the threat against Jungkook, and what will happen next? Why did Jimin, who is known for his gentle personality, suddenly take the risk of chasing the suspects who had escaped from prison? Several trusted sources revealed that 2 bullying suspects who were previously convicted have now managed to escape. This news caused a stir worldwide, including among armies, who are feeling anxious and confused. So, what is the connection between the escape of these bullying suspects and Jungkook, who is currently fulfilling his military duties? Jungkook threatened. What really happened in the military? Before diving deeper, let's discuss a bit of the background that makes this incident even more complicated. Jungkook, the cheerful BTS member, is currently serving his military duty. But who would have thought that the man who usually appears full of energy and happiness was actually a victim of bullying in the military? After a series of revelations during a trial, the bullying suspects who oppressed Jungkook were found guilty. However, some parties questioned whether the punishment was sufficient considering the heavy impact it had. Jungkook, under immense pressure, eventually got justice in court. However, this reality raised more questions. Why did bullying occur in a military institution known for its discipline? Shouldn't the military system be protecting every individual, including a big star like Jungkook? But the shocks didn't stop there. Suddenly, terrifying news arrived. 2 bullying suspects had escaped from prison. This news spread rapidly, leaving many questions unanswered. How could they escape so easily? Was there inside help? Or maybe they planned this escape as the first step to take revenge. Jimin, who is also serving in the Fire Direction Center FDC unit, was reportedly shocked by this news. As Jimin is known to be a close friend of Jungkook, he surely couldn't hold back his worry. Could this be related to the threats now targeting Jungkook, Jimin burdened with a heavy load? Is this a bigger revenge tactic? Shocked by the news of a suspect's escape, Jimin felt a heavy burden. Several circulating reports mentioned that Jimin even got injured while chasing the escaped suspects. How could someone as famous as Jimin get caught in such a dangerous situation? Is this part of a larger conspiracy than we imagined? What will happen if the suspects actually return and take revenge on Jungkook or even the entire BTS members? These questions arose as the threats against Jungkook, who had already escaped, intensified. Some sources from the military even revealed that Jungkook is now under direct threat from the escaped suspects. Why are they so bold as to threaten Jungkook, a globally known celebrity? What is it about this situation that makes them so desperate? Speculation spread. Is this just a coincidence? Of course, BTS fans and the general public are now starting to question whether all of this is just a coincidence, or if there is something else being hidden behind the scenes. Some speculations even developed that the escape of the 2 suspects is not only related to Jungkook and Jimin, but also possibly involves a larger conspiracy, both in the military and the South Korean entertainment world. Could certain parties be intentionally trying to exploit this situation for personal or even political gain? There are also those who suspect that negligence in the current military system is what allowed this escape to happen. Shouldn't the convicted suspects have been under strict surveillance? What really happened inside the military prison that allowed these dangerous individuals to escape so easily? Some observers even speculate that there were insiders in the system who intentionally made it easy for the bullying suspects to escape. Will there be changes in the military and South Korean entertainment industry? This is not just a personal issue between Jungkook and the bullying suspects. This is a much bigger issue. Will the South Korean military and the entertainment world change after this event? The actions of the 2 bullying suspects raise major questions about how the Korean military handles such misconduct. Do they prioritize reputation over protecting individuals who are victims? Is this proof that violence and bullying among soldiers are still unresolved problems? The truth yet to be revealed. What will happen next? If Jimin fell and got injured while chasing the bullying suspects, does this signal that the situation is far more complicated than we think? Will we witness a larger conspiracy that exposes the weaknesses in the system that should be protecting? And even more terrifying, will the escape of the two bullying suspects trigger further violence? What about the future of Jungkook, Jimin, and BTS? All these questions remain unanswered, and the entertainment world and the South Korean military must be prepared to face the impact of this unresolved event. As the news continues to develop, one thing is certain: what will happen next is still unknown. The world of BTS and the South Korean military will never be the same after this event. How do you assess the news you've just read? Are you sure this is true? Or could it just be a fabrication to attract media attention? The news of Jimin being injured and the escape of the two bullying suspects who threatened Jungkook has shocked many, but we must ask ourselves, did this incident really happen? Or is it just a story made up to capture the world's attention? As we witness viral news spreading so quickly, do we really know what is happening behind the scenes? Did Jimin really fall while chasing the bullying suspects? Or are there other details deliberately hidden? This event is so dramatic, so shocking, and it might just be too perfect to be real. So, are we so quick to believe the news presented to us? Or are we starting to think, maybe there is something bigger being played behind it? Do you believe the escape of the two bullying suspects really happened? Now let's take a closer look. Did the two bullying suspects really escape from prison? Weren't they previously convicted and considered dangerous criminals? If they managed to escape so easily, what really happened behind the military prison? Who can believe that such a supposedly strict system could be so fragile? And don't we find it a little strange when we see how quickly the news of their escape appeared and spread? Was the escape really intentional? Or did certain parties deliberately give them a way out? It is also possible that this is not just an accident. Do we really know that the escape wasn't planned from the beginning? Could there be a larger conspiracy happening inside the military or the entertainment world? And if we think this way, can we still believe that all of this is real? Or are we being led into a narrative that was intentionally crafted? Jungkook and Jimin, are they really threatened? Now, let's focus on Jungkook and Jimin. You certainly know that Jungkook, the BTS member we know for his enthusiasm and cheerfulness, is now fulfilling his military duty. But have you ever wondered, did he really become a victim of bullying there? Can we fully trust the news about the intense pressure he's facing? Many people were surprised to learn that a celebrity like Jungkook, known by so many people, could be treated that way in a military setting. But do we know enough to judge whether all of this is the reality reflecting the actual situation, or just made up to gain public sympathy? Do you feel that the news about Jimin getting injured while chasing the bullying suspects is enough to grab attention? Jimin, who is known as a gentle and wise person, suddenly became very emotional and got caught up in a dangerous situation. Did Jimin really get injured? Or is this just part of a bigger story to highlight the heroic side of BTS? How can we be sure that all of this truly happened, and not just a fabrication to evoke sympathy from BTS fans? Why does this story seem too dramatic and perhaps exaggerated? You are certainly familiar with various dramatic stories that come from the entertainment world. From heroic actions to emotional events, the entertainment world is full of unexpected surprises. But this time, the story about Jimin getting injured and the escape of the bullying suspects seems incredibly dramatic. Can we really believe that the two suspects who were previously imprisoned managed to escape so easily just to continue their threats against Jungkook and BTS? Why does all of this feel so structured and full of dramatic elements? Did the bullying suspects escape with help from certain parties? Or is this just a fictional story created to add tension to the news? How can we distinguish between reality and fiction amidst all the confusion?